Johnson, the only Knicks starter who's hitting better than 50%, but most of his points have come in the first half of the first three games.
Yeah, Jeff Van Gundy said he's just having such a tough time getting his shot off. He's being guarded by taller men in a lot of cases. When you look at P.J. Brown, sometimes switches on him or Alonzo. He needs him to shoot the ball a little quicker.
Second offensive rebound for Miami, and the first basket of the night for P.J. Brown. Now Giles, shadowed by Hardaway. Johnson, Giles kicks it out to Oakley. Loose ball taken away by Jamal Ashburn. Morning calls for it. Oakley defends on it. They kick it to P.J. Brown, reverse up and under.
And this is how Miami started game 3 scoring. Open court, transition offense. If you look at the guys on the court, and Jeff Van Gundy said it, they have a better team if you look at athletes. We have a better team if you look at skill and if you look at experience.
Allen in Houston. Second basket, he's got 5 strikes. Hardaway, all the way.
The key if they can do that the fourth quarter, and that's really tough, especially when you're playing against a team who really does not want to run in the Knicks.
Miami led by as many as 12 in the first quarter yesterday. Penetration and kick it out. Oakley with his second basket, or first basket.
He can make that shot. It doesn't look like he can, but he can.
9-8 Knick lead. Rashawn Leonard, who had 4 3-pointers in the first quarter yesterday. Here's Mashburn. Underneath, Alonzo Mourning for 2.
Well, this is a West Coast game.
Yes. This looks like Phoenix and Utah.
Yeah, they're running up and down, and this is exactly what Miami was.
Neither of these teams hitting better than 40%. There's a turnover from Chris Childs. Hardaway, alley-oop, P.J. Brown. Nice touch, but then Mourning lost it. Here comes New York. Oakley, underneath to Larry Johnson for 2.
What a nice pass. Chris Childs looked off the entire defense as they bought it, and he got a guy wide open for a layup. That's a nice look.
6th lead change, and here we go. Knicks by 1. Mourning. Finds P.J. Brown. I'm not sure he was ready for it. Leonard for 3. Another offensive rebound for P.J. Brown. Leonard cuts and makes the basket.
Miami is getting into their offense extremely quick. If they can get into it this quick, they'll be able to score. That's why Jeff Van Gundy is calling a timeout. He's going to tell Chris Childs, we have to slow the ball down on the break.
The 20 has turned into a full timeout with 8:19 to go out, opening quarter.
And you can see right here exactly what they're doing. Driving to the basket, drive and kick is really important for Miami. Now, they use the three-point shot a lot here, so they really need dribble penetration. You're talking about threes. The way they get their threes is 2 ways, or 3 ways, really. You go down to Alonzo, you get it on the transition, or you drive and kick. And that's something Miami has not been able to do in this series, is drive and kick. Guys are not taking the ball to the basket.
There's a huge disparity in three-point shots made and attempted between the two. Miami has tried 67 in 3-game series and made 23. New York, not a three-point shooting team. Matter of fact, they were only 1 of 6 yesterday. Here's Childs. Ewing fights for position. They kick it back out to Oakley. This one in the hands of Jamal Mashburn. Mashburn guarded by Johnson. Loses the ball. Miami leads in turnovers against the New York team that was number 1 and turning it over for the regular season in the league.
And Miami's a team that never turns the ball over, so that's a big advantage for New York.
Mashburn misses with the 3. That one's out of bounds. Knocked there by Rashawn Leonard.
One of the things I like that Miami is doing is they're not waiting to find Tim Hardaway to bring the ball up the court. Everyone's bringing it up. P.J. Brown's brought it up one. Rashawn Leonard, Mashburn has brought it up the most so far. Raleigh wants to take some of that workload off Tim Hardaway, so he'll be rested in the fourth quarter.
Underneath the Ewing. In the lane over P.J. Brown. Patrick among those hitting less than 30% in the series. He had an outstanding game yesterday with his 25, and P.J. Brown not ready for the Hardaway pass.
Yeah, if you're shooting 40% in this series, you're the best shooter in the league. That's a good percentage in this league.
Out of Houston. Touched by Rashawn Leonard, and then touched last by Houston.
Yeah, that's really nice defense. Allen Houston never saw him coming. Rashawn Leonard, great effort. Riley counts that as a contest, and he has little stats on everything, and that's one of his big putting a hand in the face.
Hardaway gets the screen to B.J. Brown. Over to Mashburn. Morning. That is Oakley for position. Travel.
And that was caused by Charles Oakley. Alonzo Mourning caught the ball almost out by the three-point line. Take a look here where Alonzo is at. He wants to catch that ball in the paint. That far away into travel. That's a close travel because I don't know if it's on.
4 turnovers early going to Miami. That's counteract the rebounding as they enjoy thus far. Here's Houston. Doubled on the baseline. Skip pass over to Larry Johnson. That's the three.
He's not a great three-point shooter, but he's capable and he's willing to take the shot.
That's Johnson's first three-pointer of the series, as a matter of fact. Tipped out, saved by Mourning, another offensive board to Miami. 14-12, Knicks on top by 2. Mourning, this time Ewing has him defensively. Will he jump hook? No. Ewing gets it. Kicks it to Childs. Johnson is down court. Larry Johnson. Spin move. P.J. Brown. Miami will force it again. That's 3 rebounds for P.J. Brown. Mourning. I don't think he wanted that.
No, he didn't. He wanted the first and didn't take it. It's really tough to take that second shot when you should have taken the first one. It's too late.
Illegal defense, that's the first of the night called. So the warning, and York will take it out of bounds on the sideline. Miami having a good time on the offensive board so far.
And that's what the Knicks have dominated in. Yesterday in the game, in the fourth quarter, Miami took over on the offensive boards, and obviously they figured something out, and they're continuing to do it. What they're doing is causing double teams, and they got guys away from the basket.
Houston, no. Deshaun Leonard, good job defensively on Allen Houston there. Right side Hardaway. Off the dribble, wow.
They are beating the Knicks up the court, and that's what they can do. They're faster. Deshaun Leonard, that was a great job because he hit Allen Houston on hand.
Are we talking about back-to-back talk? Here's Childs kicking it back to Larry Johnson. Now Ewing goes to his right. That's the jump on the lane.
Yeah, we talk about back-to-backs and how it will affect guys. Patrick Ewing's numbers are exactly the same in back-to-backs during the season. So you'd think they would affect him, but they really have not.
Miami has had an extraordinary record in back-to-backs. The second game of back-to-backs this year. They've won 16 and lost only 3, and they are 12-1 on the road. Now, they're the best road team in the league this year. The interesting thing is they haven't won on the road in the playoffs.
Well, I think Miami beats a lot of teams because they play with more intensity, they play harder. In the regular season, you get away with that. In the playoffs, everyone plays with intensity, so that kind of evens the odds.
Mashburn. Got it.
Got it, and they need it. They need him to step up. Either him or Dan Marley have to score some points for Miami to win this playoff series.
Mashburn's been on the back of the milk carton for much of the series. Mourning with a rebound. Hardaway, P.J. Brown hurries up. High pick and roll underneath the P.J. Brown.
I would say the difference right now from game 3 and tonight is that Chris Childs is not picking up Tim Hardaway full court. Tim Hardaway is getting them into their offense quick. Knicks don't have time to set their defense. Miami is scoring easy buckets.
Baseline, Johnson. Larry Johnson off to a quick start. He's 4 of 6. They're tied at 18 with 3:40 to go in the opening quarter. Underneath is Mashburn. Johnson with the foul, and Mashburn will go to the free throw line.
We talked in the opening about how important transition is. Take a look here. Beating everyone down the court. You don't see Patrick Ewing until the very end. Here it goes again, getting into their offense early. Tim Hardaway is able to create. You get an easy dunk, and that's what the Heat want. Armstrong with Orlando put a ton of pressure on Tim Hardaway, and Chris Childs did it again yesterday. They believe, and so do we, and so does Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy and everyone else, Tim Hardaway is carrying a big workload right now for the Heat, but the Heat understand that that's all they can do. They have to do it.
John Starks makes his first appearance in the game. He has had a woeful series offensively, but he really chimed in and played a big game defensively yesterday.
Yeah, I think yesterday was the first game he made a contribution to the Knicks. Now, but Jeff Van Gundy said, if you look at us, we're up 2-1. And our lightning rod has not done anything. He's been the exact opposite of one, and we're still up 2-1, so that bodes well for us. He said the problem is you don't know what John's going to do. From day to day, from minute to minute. He can give you something, he cannot, you never know. He said he just is going to play and see.
Mashburn gets 1 of 2 at the free throw line. That continues a bad trend for Miami, 50% at the line. Here Starks for 3. Loose ball foul. It'll go against Miami. P.J. Brown, his first. Team first.
And we're talking about free throws. In every game, free throws have basically decided the series. Miami has an advantage on making threes. The Knicks have a huge advantage in making free throws.
Knicks have been to the line 30 times, and more impressively, they made 25. That's on an average per game. Here comes Mashburn at the other end. 2:10 to go in the first quarter of play.
Well, Chris Childs just missed Patrick Ewing wide open up underneath. He has great position, Patrick Ewing did.
Johnson guards Mashburn. For Sean Leonard. Nope. Here comes John Starks. Underneath to Larry Johnson. Back to Ewing. And to Johnson. Now they'll clear it out. Ewing over P.J. Brown.
Nice cut to the basket by Patrick Ewing, making someone pick him up.
Ewing 2 of 3. And the Knicks back on top by 1. Back at Hardaway's hands is the pick and roll with Alonzo Mourning. P.J. Brown moves to the left side. Now the empty pass and Mourning with the jumper in and out. Ewing rebound. That's his second. Knicks by 1 in game 4. Childs, mismatch. Johnson for 3. Deshaun Leonard for Miami. At the other end is Mourning. Good the pass. No foul call.
Kind of nonchalant call. That's probably why the ref didn't give him the foul.
The younger guys would say he did not do that with authority. Let's check in with Brian Burwell.
Burn, it seems as though Pat Riley is making a very strong effort to involve everybody in the offense early. We saw them run some plays for Deshaun Leonard early, then they went to Jamal Mashburn. Now they're going to work it to Alonzo Mourning. Back to you at the desk.
Well, Mourning off to a tough start, 2 for 10.
Yeah, but I like him being aggressive, and he's aggressive without picking up fouls. They need him to be that way. Even when he misses shots, he still calls a lot of attention.
Mourning with a miss, or Ewing leather, and here comes Miami. Deshaun Leonard. Skip pass to Mashburn. Johnson has it. Mourning tries to establish position. Here's Mashburn. Finds the cutter. Cuts past P.J. Brown. And Alonzo Mourning is going to go to the free throw line.
Now you know he's not going to get a layup. They're going to make sure he goes to the free throw line the way he's shooting free throws.
The field goal attempts distributed evenly with the exception of Alonzo Mourning, and Patrick Ewing will get a rest now.
Well, that's a good job. And you look at Tim Hardaway, only 2. You know he's going to take care of himself at some point. He's the point guard. He can shoot whatever he wants to. It's nice seeing other guys getting involved.
Non-shooting foul a moment ago. Hardaway. Yes, that's for 3.
Well, when he lifts up, the entire crowd starts voting. They're so scared of Tim Hardaway in New York City. He's taken on a Michael Jordan-ish type of persona.
What a game he had in game 2 with that 13-point explosion in the last few minutes of the second quarter. Here's another New York turnover. That's their 4th. Ike Austin making his first appearance on the floor will give Alonzo Mourning the floor now.
It'll be interesting from this point on to see how the Heat will try to score baskets. Alonzo Mourning, that's one adjustment Pat Riley made, is he used him only to set picks because he knows Alonzo can make that open jumper. The Knicks have been leaving the picker wide open.
saw the note. Game 2 coming up. There's a near turnover by Rashawn Leonard. Utah and the Lakers from Salt Lake City after our game. Austin, nice strong move. No basket, however, it was too strong.
Well, it was, but that was a great swat by Charles Oakley. Now, Charles Oakley does not mind taking hits, but on this one, I don't know if he was ever touched. That's pretty good by Charles Oakley.
2-point Heat lead. Final 20 seconds, first quarter. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Stark, gets it back to Johnson. Thinks about the three and passes on it. Stark won't wait.
Boy, that's the type of shot you want when you're struggling. The shot that you just have to take anyway.
Oh, boy! How about the first 12 minutes? 11 lead changes. Larry Johnson, who has played well in the first Miami's, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it really has been. This has been an up-tempo game. That's what Miami needs. You look at the big bruisers on the New York side, you want to beat them down the court. So what Miami is doing, and even in their transition sets, they're pushing the ball up court, getting into their offense quickly. They're not allowing the Knicks to set that strong defense. And if you get Tim Hardaway and Mashburn and guys like that in the open court, you have a great shot of scoring quick buckets.
Larry Johnson with a quick start. John Crotty has come on to join the Miami Heat, and he picks up Chris Childs. Starts with that big three-pointer to give the Knicks the lead. Here's Johnson for three again. Nope. Oakley has it. Gets it to Buck Williams. He kicks it out to Chris Childs, and Crotty guards him.
I think Oakley and P.J. Brown have been the two unsung heroes in this series so far. I think they are the two guys who set the tempo for both teams.
Shot clock at 5. First time we've had to mention the shot clock. Childs, no. Tip, Mike Austin has it for Miami.
Yeah, that's not a good sign when you dribble for 20 seconds and then take a shot. The Knicks never got into their offense.
John Crotty, spark plug in game 2, the Miami victory. He's guarded by Starks. Mashburn. Illegal defense, that's the first call against New York. That's the point. We check in with Brian Lewell.
Well, Vern, that was a good sign for the Knicks when John Starks came off the bench and hit that first shot, because that's now what they're going to try to do. They're going to run as many plays as they can to get John started, because you know how he can be. He's either hot or cold, and he gets frustrated, so they want to get him going early. Back to you at the desk.
The New York guards, saw the graphic on them. Chris Childs now sits with 6 assists, and Charlie Ward takes his place. Jamal Mashburn off the feed from Crotty. Foul called on Larry Johnson.
Wow, that looked like fantastic defense. I think he must have hit him on the arm, but that was great defense by Larry Johnson. And this is one of the most underrated things about Larry Johnson. Jeff Van Gundy says, on the ball with bigger guys, he's the best defender we have. And that looked pretty clean to me.
Oh, it did. Mashburn goes to the free throw line. The crowd is reacting to the replay here at Madison Square Garden. Allen Houston will replace Larry Johnson. Johnson, 9 points on 4 of 7 in the early going. Mashburn gets 2 free throws, and the Heat are back up by 1. Ward and Crotty. Starks got loose and the pass wasn't there.
Yeah, the pass from quarterback Charlie Ward was a little high. John Stark couldn't bring it in.
Keith Askins, who did not play in yesterday's game, is on the floor now, replacing P.J. Brown. The turnover's even at 5.
And that's a reaction from Jeff Van Gundy, putting in Allen Houston at the small forward spot. Keith Askins is coming in to guard Allen Houston.
Pick and roll, Mashburn open. Oakley has it. Buck Williams front side Boston, and then Austin off the glass and out of bounds.
They get there so quickly. I mean, that was a great lob pass. You think Ike Austin has a shot, someone's there, another guy comes, Charles Oakley, to block the shot.
10:20 to go in the first half of play. Heat by 1. Hardaway, no. Oakley battles for it. It's on the floor. Charlie Ward.
So Jeff Van Gundy was telling us about Charlie Ward. He says sometimes you don't know he's out there. Then you look at the stat sheet, he has 6 steals, and he causes turnovers from the other team. He does all the little things. He's quiet on the court. That's his nature. Anyway, it's a quiet guy.
Well, you were noting that yesterday in Game 3, he played 20 minutes, and it was almost like he never got him again.
Never knew he played. And then Jeff says, boy, he made a big contribution to us. And that is the ultimate bailout ball. Buck Williams had no shot of this one going in.
Ewing and Mourning. The Georgetown
Leaving Ike Austin or the picker wide open to do whatever he wants. Watch John Starks here, fake like he's going and get back. If you think this one will be different, you're crazy. It's the same thing. They're going to leave the guy setting the pick open. He must step up and make the shot for Miami, or Miami will have to make an adjustment.
not as many pick and rolls early on as we might have thought.
No, not yet, but you will see them. The game will slow down. This is the same thing that's happened in game 1, 2, and 3, and it's happening again in game 4. Miami gets out there running. What Pat Riley wants to do is do this for 4 quarters. You know at some point the Knicks will slow this game down. When his game slows, it either goes to the post for Miami, ISOs for Tim Hardaway, or pick and rolls. And Pat Riley told us today, we are a pick and roll basketball team. It is an important part of our offense. If that does not work, we do not win.
Buck Williams, whose strong point is not 15 feet away from the basket.
No, it's amazing because he has a nice touch when guys are in his face. You put him on that line when there's no one around, the tough guy gets scared and he can't make the free throws anymore.
1 or 2 and a sigh of relief from Buck Williams, who's got a smiling as he backs down court.
He's as surprised as anybody.
Mourning is back on the floor for Miami. They're tied at 24. Ewing is getting ready to make a reappearance in that one. Oakley fouled by Alonzo Mourning.
And fouled hard.
Yes.
The bad part is he was still down on the floor, so they get to take it out of bounds. You can see the Knicks are doing a lot of fronting, the same thing Miami does, and Oak fouls hard. He does that so he can't get the ball up, and there's no way that he can get the ball up and score 2 points.
Oakley picks up his first foul, and he gets a spot on the bench now as Buck Williams and Patrick Ewing are on the floor simultaneously. Here's John Quaddy, dishes right side to Deshaun Leonard. Ewing comes to help out. Quaddy penetrates, kicks it back outside. Ike Austin takes that tough jumper. No.
And they're going to give him that. And he's going to have to make it. Him and DJ Brown, they're going to give shots to all night long.
Charlie Ward, Patrick Ewing, guarded by Austin.
Well, that was sensational defense by Ike Austin. Patrick just had better offense on that one. That's why Patrick's a great player. He can make those shots.
6 points for Ewing in the early going and a 2-point victory. Austin looks inside for Alonzo Mourning. Buck Williams doing offensive work on his ball. Back to Leonard for 3. Off the mark. John Starks got a face in the hand in face. And the York will rebound. Allen Houston. Haskins. Houston takes him. Oh, what a defensive job by your Mourning.
Well, that's not the guy you want to take the ball to, is Alonzo Mourning. That's his specialty.
Mourning off the dribble and the feed from Crotty underneath. And puts it in.
He is being so aggressive. I talked to him on the phone today. He said, Doc, I'm going to do it all game. I'm going to put pressure on Patrick and the rest of the guys.
Well, if he used one of Riley's key words, resolve.
And they're showing it right now.
Ewing.
So is
Nice,
he.
strong move.
So is he.
Ewing has 8. Mourning has 6 in the early going. And it's a 2-point New York lead under 8 to go now. P.J. Brown getting ready to come back in for Miami. Got Charlie Ward with a hand check. Austin Mourning.
Now you look at this. This is great defense by Ike Austin. Keeps him in front of him, bodies him up, makes him take a tough shot. He still makes it. What can you do? Now here you go one more time. Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning help. There's nothing you can do when a guy's making shots like that.
Mourning. Williams head up. Now the double comes to Charlie Ward. That leaves Crotty open for 3. No. And New York will run. Allen Houston right side to Starks. Oh, boy.
And never had the ball in his hand. So if he's starting to make those, that is not good for the Heat. That's exactly why Pat Riley...
Play. John Stark's three-pointer has increased the New York lead to 4 now, largest New York lead. Toughest defenses, if you judge it by opponent's field goal percentage. Miami, New York.
Yeah, so you knew that this series would be one of those 77-73 type basketball games, and the whole series would be like that. These two teams are great conditioned teams. They play great team defense, and they have great individual defenders. So you knew that this would be an ugly series when it came to the offense.
Well, the last 6 minutes of yesterday's third game, just pretty well defined defensive effort.
Yeah, it was great on both parts. You know, no one out-defended the other one. It was great. The Knicks ended up winning by a block shot and defensive play.
Ashburn in the post, goes over Houston, and rattles it home.
Boy, if they're going to allow Mashburn to back Allen Houston down that low without giving him help, that should be Miami's play until the series is over with.
I think they might go back.
Yes, they should.
Screen is set for Stark. Sean Leonard picks him up. Stark kicks it to Charlie Ward. And the Miami rebound at the other end is Tony running too far.
And they look for that every single time. Alonzo Mourning, he's bobbled at least 3 out of bounds already. But that is something they can get. Alonzo Mourning can outrun Patrick Ewing in the open court.
May have seen Mourning point his finger to the sky. Kelly Hardaway left it a little more.
And Hardaway is saying, catch it. Just catch the ball.
Houston, oh, my!
Wow. You know what Allen Houston is saying? Now, you're going to back me down, but I'm going to take you away from the basket, and you guard me. Well, here he goes. But Patrick goes and goes right away.
Ashburn. Ewing with the rebound. Knicks lead by 5. Stark, good ball.
Now the Knicks are running. And so you've got two guys right now, Allen Houston at the 3 and John Starks at the 2, who are more athletic than Mashburn and Deshaun Leonard.
Foul start on Charlie Ward. Hardaway decides to take a chance. He's a good lucky ball.
Yeah, look at Allen Houston out here. Well, Mashburn away from the basket guarding Allen Houston. That's advantage Allen Houston. And this transition basket, it was really caused by Allen Houston. Everybody saw Allen Houston. They ran out, stopped, sneaks in, gets an easy shot.
P.J. Brown on the 2 for Hardaway. The tip. Charlie Ward has it. Looks up short. Allen Houston. Go! Wow.
Look at Allen Houston around the court. We talk about his shooting, but this guy is athletic. I mean, that's a bump, keeping your balance and making the shot. Right now, you got John Starks on fire and Allen Houston, and they're both on the court at the same time. I don't know how you can pin that.
3-point play for Allen Houston and from New York. You know, the tables have been turned. It was Miami up by 12 in yesterday's third game. New York survived the run and came back and won it. Now Hardaway. Mourning. And P.J. Brown will go to the free throw line.
And that was all called by Joe Martin. I mean, relentless driving, making someone pick him up and kicking the ball.
Brown shoots 2.
It seems like every time in this series, the first coach who goes small gets a quick advantage. Jeff Van Gundy decided to go small first by putting Allen Houston at the small forward position, and he has the advantage in the score.
Brown shoots 1 goal. Martin Limpy watches. 5:04 to go in the first half. 38-29. He's been looking for his shot for 3 games. Pat Riley knows he's found it.
And he has caused the Heat to take 2 timeouts just because he's making shots. I mean, he's a lightning rod for this team. when John Starks started making shots and driving to the basket and creating offense for himself and others, don't be in the crowd.
Right.
New York and Philadelphia fans, don't get along.
Well, Colorado, Detroit might draw a little attention too.
Yes.
Rebounds in the quarter, New York 8-3 edge. P.J. Brown, Hardaway, Mourning, Mashburn, and Sean Leonard. Foul is going to be called on Patrick Ewing. That's his first.
And those are the fouls you don't want your center to get. Reaching fouls on a guard away from the basket. You want your center to use all your fouls on another big guy. You know what Jeff Van Gundy has on everyone's shirt, making them feel you.
Yeah, they all came out for the practice about 2 hours before the game. Everybody from the Knicks wearing a T-shirt. The back of it's make them feel you.
That should be the title for this series.
Point game. Buck Williams, Charlie Ward, Ewing, John Starks, and Allen Houston. Ward gets in the hands of Starks. Foul on Mashburn, the Houston goes by him.
It's amazing watching Allen Houston. I was talking to him yesterday, and he says they have two options. Either they're going to foul me or I'm going to score. That's it. You love to see a guy with that much confidence. That's something he hasn't had all year.
And then he starts. Oh, Starks.
You don't know how athletic that move was. I mean, that was a sensational move by John Starks.
Starks has 11. A front Mourning, loose ball. Jump ball. Watch the move from John Starks underneath the basket.
More importantly, watch the catch and the pivot at the same time. I mean, that is incredible to be able to do that. Very few people can do that. Dancers are usually the ones who can do it.
Well, Chris Giles with no points, but he does have 6 assists tonight. And Houston and Starks combined for 22.
And look what they're shooting. You know, they've missed 3 shots between them.
4:09 to go.
Marquette math is correct.
Absolutely. Glad to see you put that degree to use. Without a calculator, I will add. 32-31. Nope. Off Alonzo Mourning, New York ball.
I know you can pick it up and you can hear it onto the groans and the grunts and the hits. I mean, this is a really physical game.
Expected to be and has lived up to his promise. Now Houston guarded by Mashburn. 3:45 to go in the half.
He told you have 2 options. That's one of them. I mean, look at this. He's so quick. And the reason he gets away with this because you have to honor his shot. So you have to guard him so closely.
3 fouls on Mashburn. That's going to bring Willie Anderson into the lineup for the first time in the series.
Great substitution. We've been waiting for this all series. Willie Anderson is a terrific defensive player. The problem is now, and I, who is somewhat of a defender, you hate guarding somebody who's already on fire.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
Exactly.
Haven't played in a month. Didn't expect to play tonight. Now I've got down in Houston. Okay.
He's burning up right now.
Right. That's why I hesitated when I looked over and saw Willie Anderson get off the bench. He has been really inactive. Here's his pass underneath. And the turnover goes to Starks. 13-point New York lead. Anderson with a hard foul.
Well, that's one thing that Willie can do. At least he can foul him. And you know, coaches do that at times. They say, hey, listen, the guy's on fire. Go in and make him feel you right now. And that's what Willie Anderson just did.
Allen Houston back at the free throw line.
Now check this pass out by John Starks. You think he's not going to do it right now? And that's a great pass. That might be even a better catch because it hits the guy's leg and he's still hard.
Have a certain air of confidence to even attempt it.
Yeah, it does. And what that is John Starks. You love him and you hate him. Right now, you love him.
John Crotty, P.J. Brown, Hardaway, and Willie Anderson this morning. A 15-point New York lead. As Allen Houston and John Starks have ignited this New York offense and this crowd.
And the fact that they have 46 points already, they only scored 77 and won yesterday. They have 46 right now with 3:13 left in the first half.
Mourning back at the free throw line. Yeah, we've got some perspiration on the floor that will require some attention.
It's amazing when you come in with a game plan, when we're talking Miami, to fish it out, and it works against you. And that's what's happened. New York is out and running right now, and New York is controlling the board.
Miami, held with only one field goal in the last 6 minutes of yesterday's game, has hit a drought again. They haven't scored a field goal in nearly 5 minutes. Charles Oakley comes on with a huge grin. I'm not sure what he was smiling about.
You never know what Charles Oakley is smiling about. I think Buck Williams, again, it doesn't show up, but he just did a fantastic job guarding Alonzo Mourning.
Well, Pat Riley told us this morning he thinks Buck Williams was the free agent acquisition of the year in the league. He said, I know I'm glad to get P.J. Brown, but Williams is the perfect fit for New York. Williams. Foul is on Mourning, his first. 2:59 remaining in the first half. New York
In the ABL or the WNBA. Why do you go with the WNBA?
I'm very excited to be a part of the WNBA because I feel like it has the opportunity to put the women's game on a national level. And I was really excited to be a part of that kind of growth.
All right. Now, you guys have both been watching this game. What do you think about the heavy hitting inside?
Ooh, I'm impressed. I can't believe they're letting them play like that. I'm just wondering if we'll get to do the same thing.
All right, ladies, thanks a lot. Back to you, Vern.
All right, Brian and Kim Hampton did a wonderful job singing the national anthem.
Yeah, she can do more than just play basketball. She can really sing.
16-point lead here. 2:38 to go in the half. Charlie Ward, followed by Crotty. Starks in Houston have heard the ignition for the Knicks. Underneath wow. And Oakley can't hit the layup.
That was a nice pass.
Yes, it was. Here comes Crotty. Willie Anderson. Anderson. Ewing rejects it.
And this is really tough for Willie Anderson, or any player. Willie Anderson's the type of guy, he can score baskets. I think most people have looked at him in his career as a finesse player who can score, but he is really a solid defensive player also. That's the reason he's on the Miami Heat, is because of his defense, not his offense. But for him to score down would be really tough after sitting this long.
Had some run for years in San Antonio, but he's had a career plagued by injuries. And has it turned over there.
And that's his second turnover since being in the game. But Allen Houston has not scored since he's been in the game. So Riley is getting out of him what he wants.
Hardaway, nifty move. Oh, what a dandy move that was. 47-33, watch Hardaway's drive.
I mean, you're talking about putting pressure on the defense. I mean, that's called pressure. Offensive pressure.
Crotty picks up Charlie Ward. Mourning guards Oakley. And here comes John Starks, shut up by Hardaway. Mourning comes to help, and that leaves Oakley open.
And that's more like it. Charles Oakley would much rather shoot a 15-foot jump shot than try to make a layup. He can't jump over him under paper. So he leaves those jump shots.
Boy, he'd have a terrific time with the Sunday Times.
Yes.
Illegal defense, that was the second of the night called against New York. All right, coming up on the Nike halftime report, P.J. Carlesimo joins Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios. A look at him for Laker Jazz series and Larry Bird in his first press conference. Well, the free throw problems continue for Miami. 6 of 11 tonight.
That might be the first coach hiring I've ever seen, but the coach wasn't there talking. Finally, he shows.
Right. So all those reports on Mary Ford, and there was no sound bites. Mourning is fouled by Oakley. Well, Pat Riley, great respect for Ewing, Starks, and Oakley, and look at the contributions they've made tonight.
And it is funny how aware that the entire Heat team is now of Charles Oakley. I'm talking to Ryan, we've been on the phone today, and that's all he talked about was Charles Oakley. Tim Hardaway said the same thing. We have to find a way or a guy or a collective effort to slow Charles Oakley down from doing all the little things he's doing to keep the Knicks into the ball game.
Oakley brought his lunch pail yesterday. Loosemore foul called on Allen Houston. Second foul on Houston.
The one for offensive boards. This was the blowout. And he's staying in the game on the offensive board.
Boy, this has not been a bad free-throw shooting team until they got into the playoffs.
You know it's contagious, though, and it started with Alonzo Mourning. He starts struggling, and I'm telling you it's contagious. The best free throw shooter can come out, and that's, you can see it. It's all in everybody's mind, because that's all the papers are talking about now.
And yes. Don't forget the chatterbox. You're amongst us. Final minute first half. Second quarter has been owned by the Knicks. Ward starts off the dribble. Offensive foul.
Willie Anderson in the right spot.
Foul is called on John Starks. 15-point deficit looking at Miami. Game 5 in Miami on Wednesday night. Game 6 if necessary back here on Friday night.
When you look at subtle differences since Willie Anderson has come in the game, Allen Houston has not scored.
Anderson off the dribble underneath that foul call. Ewing.
Now he's thinking, Willie Anderson, now it's my turn to go to the free throw line. You know what Oakley was saying? He was saying, listen, he had no shot at making it. He was up on the basket, he wanted to pass. You shouldn't bail a guy out.
And the foul is on Ewing. Willie Anderson, Jeff Van Gundy wants a 20-second timeout. Well, second game of our doubleheader from Salt Lake City tonight. I don't know about you, but I'm talking about comeback stock. Karl Malone goes 2 for 20 in one game, and then there was the next one.
But you know what I loved about it? Karl Malone has used 2 for 20. No excuses.
Right.
I went 2 for 20. I had shots that I wanted, and I just missed them. And you like that. And that's what the better. It's no coincidence that if you look at the series right now, the veteran teams are winning. The Knicks, an older team against Miami. Chicago, an older team over Atlanta. The Utah Jazz, the Houston Rockets, both the same. I don't think that's a coincidence.
You're telling me that you kind of like Utah in game 5 next?
I like them in the series now. I'm on the Utah bandwagon.
Oh, I've been preaching to you all year long. And then last time, I'm preaching to the choir.
Yes, you are. But, you know, that series surprised me. I did like Utah because they have a great transition offensive team. The Lakers have poor transition defensive team because they're so big. And I think Utah has totally taken advantage of that in the series.
Here in Madison Square Garden, Willie Anderson shoots his second free throw as Miami tries to claw back in this one. He gets both, and they are down by 13 with 31.2 left in the first half of play. Pat Riley might have found a player
They can help them out, and not only the defensive end, but the offensive end.
Down at the shot clock. Starting for Johnny Warren, and a foul is called on P.J. Brown.
And you knew that was coming. It was a foul the entire play. Jeff Van Gundy was talking about the way the games have been roughed. He said this is so physical that if the refs called every foul, the game would never end. There would be a foul every second. And so they're picking and choosing when to call a foul.
Deshaun Leonard is back on the floor for Miami, replacing P.J. Brown.
And it's amazing that Patrick Ewing can make a shot. If you look at his technique, he pauses at the top.
Right.
He steps backwards when he's shooting them, and yet he makes them. It's really unbelievable. And watch this pause right at the top here. That's just remarkable. That's what a great example. You can practice something bad enough, and it becomes good.
Final 7 seconds first half. Knicks were up by 1 at the end of the first. Here's Billy Anderson off the floor. Fixes the front in the corner. Allen Houston, big second quarter.
And basically all these fouls right now are being called by Allen Houston. They're so concerned about him running off a pitch wide open. There's guys trying to help running the screens, and that's where the fouls are coming.
Last foul on Deshaun Leonard, his third. Lead is 10, 8:50 to go. Third quarter, Houston. Deshaun Leonard got there just long enough to Harrison. And here's Morning with a rebound. Jamal Mashburn. Ewing comes to help out, and then Johnson with a good defensive job. Ewing was on the line. Whoa! Go back to the point you were talking about how closely they are calling this, because Van Gundy talked with us this evening about how he thought they were letting him get away with it.
Yeah, he said for 3 games now they've let him get away. He said he would like him to call it a little closer so guys can get out and run a little bit. Now they're doing that. A great example, though, of a no call is Mashburn drives out of control. He didn't bail him out and blow the whistle. They're allowing him to play, but they're calling him closer at the same time.
8:25 to go third quarter. Here's Mashburn again. Backs in on Johnson. Ewing makes a pass of help.
And what I meant by allowing them to play, right? They're not bailing guys out when you go to the basket and you might get hit, but if it's a wild shot, they're not calling that. But they are calling the bangs and the pushes. They want this game to be run and just have a little bit more rhythm to it.
Third foul call on Larry Johnson. Here's Mashburn, looks inside for P.J. Brown.
Example.
Yep. Chris Childs. His third away from the ball. Third team foul.
Yeah, you can see Chris Childs right here. I don't know who the foul was on that one. Chris Childs got it.
8 to go, third quarter. Mashburn, he'll try the other side. Backs in on Johnson, little jump, in and out. Puts it forming. Still at the ball. Here's Allen Houston. Traveled.
He traveled, he double dribbled, he carried. He did them all.
Well, the chapter.
Yes, he did on that one series.
There goes that paragraph. Well, this has gotten sloppy.
It has. And if you're Pat Riley, you're happy. Because the Knicks aren't scoring. They're going to keep giving the Heat chances to get back in this game. And it's going to get close again.
Oh, my goodness.
See, Deshaun Leonard has to shoot that. Allen Houston fell on the floor. He had a wide open three, and he decided to pass.
5-1 turnovers after that one from Deshaun Leonard. Screen set for Ewing, who fights P.J. Brown. Look at that wrestling match. Wow. Here's Houston.
Now, you notice there how Childs Oakley got out?
Right.
That's what Allen Houston wants. He told him, I don't want picks. I can take the guy. You bring your pick, you're bringing another guy. And you can see Charles Oakley, who likes giving picks, got out.
Miami given ample opportunity to climb back in this one. Hardaway finds Morning with the jumper. Yes.
That's the adjustment. Alonzo Mourning second pick. He gets the open shot. He can make it.
The Miami Heat have cut the lead in half. The deficit, rather, Doc, in this third quarter.
Well, they're reversing the trend by being down going into the third quarter. So I guess Pat Riley speaks and says, hey, guys, let's get down so we can come back and win the game for a change.
New York is healthy. They've had 14 possessions. They turned it over 5 times, and they are 1 of 4 from the field. Now, Childs, Oakley, Ewing, Houston, and Johnson for New York. The margin is 8 in Game 4. Ewing watches. P.J. Brown joins him, plays with 3 fouls. Ewing backs in. Off the mark.
Yeah, I think the Miami Heat is playing with more force right now. When you talk about this series, we have to talk in force instead of play.
Hardaway, no. Here comes Houston for New York, right side to Childs. Hardaway picks him up. Johnson with a pick and roll. Rotation out is P.J. Brown, cuts to Content, and Larry Johnson hits another three-point and a big three-pointer. So that can get him going. 2 3-pointers in the game for Johnson. The first 3-pointers in this series for Larry Johnson. Alonzo Mourning. Throws it up as he's fouled. Foul is on Ewing, that's his third.
Look at P.J. Brown's defense, but look at Patrick Ewing. Just trying to feel his body. Trying to find him. And there you see the shot. P.J. Brown is an excellent defender.
Non-shooting foul, so Miami will inbound. Hardaway, Mourning. Help comes from Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson. That's his fourth.
The tough thing about the Knicks when they have a lead, not for the Knicks, but for the Heat, is that the Knicks are a great defensive team. And though the Knicks aren't scoring any points right now, it's still tough for the other team to score points against them. I love the substitution of bringing John Starks in the game because you know he's going to come with the floor. And now they're going to go small, take the Larry Johnson out, and they're going to start attacking. I like the move by Jeff Van Gundy right now. It'll be interesting to see how long Pat Riley stays with his line.
Johnson sits with 4 fouls in this rather awful free throw performance by the Miami Heat continues. Alonzo gets 1 of 2, and the lead is back to 10, 56-46. Here's Starks. Huge second quarter. After a tough first 3 offensive games. Oakland over Mourning, in and out. Rebound Hardaway.
That's the shot Miami wants them to take right there.
Hardaway off the dribble, the switch, Ewing, that leaves P.J. Brown open. Nope. Gets another offensive board, puts it up, and we'll go to the free throw line. Careful.
Both teams showing a little love.
Yeah.
You can see Alonzo and Charles Oakley on this play. First of all, just hard fouling by 2 guards on a big man, making sure he has to shoot free throws. And then you can see Alonzo and Oak getting into it there.
Meanwhile, at the bench, at the scoring table rather, Riley came out to ask what was going on. Personal foul on Starks, that's his first.
And a technical foul on Charles Oakley and P.J. Brown. Alonzo gets away unscathed.
Brown shoots 1 more. 6 offensive boards already tonight for P.J. Brown. Oakland's still chatting about things.
Chatting with Tim Hardaway. If he thinks Tim Hardaway goes small inside, he's going to go away. He can forget it. He has a huge heart.
In and out. Free throw from the Miami Heat. 12-22. They missed 10 more tonight. Ewing foul by Mourning.
And that just burns Pat Riley. You can see the expression on his face right there. He just saying, Alonzo, don't foul him that way. That's not how we want it. You're going to foul him before.
Mourning picks up his second foul from the corner. Mourning with the rebound.
And what the Knicks are allowing the Heat to stay
Hardaway, that's by Oakley. Mourning had to stop and tie his shoelace. 4:35 to go, third quarter. Jamal Mashburn. Houston Quincy. Gets to Sean Leonard. Gets it back. More bodies are down.
Oh, my. This is becoming ugly right now, Bert. Bodies are everywhere.
It's a little bit like bowling now. 3-second violation against Miami.
I mean, look at this. Look at Charles Oakley right there, losing his balance, going to the floor. He spends as much time on his feet as he does on the floor.
Picked up a 7-10 split. 56-47, 4:22 to go.
They'll get the ball to Allen Houston right now. Right? You got Mashburn guarding him. I think he wants to clear out. He does not want that there.
The trap leaves Ewing open. Underneath.
Hey, the ball was going in anyway. You should go, Tim. Maybe they won't call it.
Back to an 11-point margin, 58-47, 4:05 to go third quarter.
Look at the position. Yeah, that's a go, Tim. I could have made that one.
Sean Leonard guarded by Starks. Chris Giles picks up another foul, and he's battling with Hardaway. His fourth.
You know the game is ugly when you got two guards pushing each other out, playing physical defense, and you're seeing Willie Anderson come back in this game early.
Dan Marley yet to appear in this ball game, and I think your hunch is right. It must be the back.
Yeah, it has to be. There's something wrong. If he's healthy, he's playing. Pat Riley said he's the most important player on our team.
Willie Anderson back in for Deshaun Leonard. There's Marley.
Check this out. These are two guards posted up. Now, when you see two guards get into it, you know you got an ugly game. I like ugly games personally. I love watching it because I think when you have to play in a game where every shot is earned, it's really neat to watch.
Look at the free throw disparity again tonight. It's been a theme of this series, and it continues.
It's amazing. They shot 25 free throws, and Knicks only have shot 11, yet they only have a 2 free throw advantage in Mace. Not good for the Heat.
They can roll with Ewing. Back in the hands of Charlie Lillard. Starks. Way pass. Oh, no. Another missed layup from Oakley. Oh, wow. Hardaway, that one's kicked. Charles Oakley died for it. Oh, about that play. How about that play? That would have brought the congregation to Berea.
It would have. And Charles Oakley is everywhere.
Oh, my. How about the ovation for Oakley?
Look at his teammates. Oh, man. This is what you call a role player right here, Bird. Charles Oakley, with effort, getting the basketball. That's playoff basketball.
It's a symbolic work effort for the New York Knicks. Here's a guy who put on his jersey for you.
He gives you his body and his soul. I mean, look at him go to the floor. He does it all. He rebounds, he's tenacious, he plays great defense, he'll run the floor, he'll do whatever it takes for his team to win.
And the play just prior to the timeout seemed to symbolize the effort of this. Look at this.
Just look at this. He's the biggest pest in the league. Usually guards are pests. You know, the little guys, the Muggsy Bogues, and Tim Hardaway. But right now, it's Charles Oakley. And Pat Riley called a timeout after that because he has material. That's twice Charles Oakley went to the floor to get the ball, where the Heat only bent down to get the ball. Oakley came up with the ball both times.
B.J. Brown. Another Miami turnover. 13 turnovers for the Heat.
Frustration for the Heat too right now because the Knicks aren't scoring, but they can't crack into the lead.
The table was set for Miami in this third quarter, but they've been unable to take a place.
You know, Pat Riley said the board we've lost so many opportunities, and now the Knicks are starting to score some points. Charles Oakley again draws an offensive foul. He's frustrating the Miami Heat right now with his effort. I mean, you can see it right here. He's just frustrating guys. Oh, that's just great.
Third foul. Careful. Four fouls on Miller.
coach, and they said that nothing is wrong with Dan Marley. It's a coach's decision, but I'm not so sure. I talked to him before the game today, and he said after 3 operations, he clearly is not 100% that back is bothering, but he said it's a long summer and he can worry about that afterwards. I'll talk to you later.
Nice pep talk, Brian.
Well, here he is. Brian Burwell coaching now for the Miami Heat gets Dan Marley in the game.
Look at this Miami bench, Doc.
Yeah, it's tough to win. that's tough to win when you got John Starks with 11 points already by himself off the bench.
New York with 18 points off turnovers tonight. Miami with 4. And it's back to a 14-point margin.
And I think you should make note now, Miami has gone real small. They have 4 guards in the lineup, or 3 guards in Mashburn. And every time a guy makes a turnover right now, they're looking at the other guy saying, you didn't throw me the ball in the right spot. That's called frustration.
14-point margin, Charlie Ward, Ewing, Oakley, Starks, and Houston for New York. This ball picked up by Jamal Mashburn underneath to Marley. Too far underneath. Keeps it back outside for Hardaway. Hardaway, Willie Anderson. Finds Marley, spots up the 3.
Oh, boy. That is an unbelievable push-up. You sit for basically 3 quarters, and you come in and you make a 3. But that's what he does well. So it's nice. That was his first shot. Now, he can be the lightning rod, but then like John Starks was for the Knicks in the second quarter.
Marley guards Houston. They kick it in the corner and Starks for 3. Ewing tips it to himself. Kicks it over. As Charlie Ward comes in the way, here's Starks off the dribble. Jumper. Oh, wow.
Nice shot. Nice shot. But right now, you can see the effort on the Heat is smaller. It seems like every time a team goes to a smaller lineup, that smaller lineup becomes more aggressive.
John Starks in this ballgame is 6 of 8 from the field. He was 5 of 24 in the first 3 games. Mashburn with the answer.
Tough shot. See, now Charles Oakley's guarding a quicker guy. He would much rather guard a bigger, stronger guy that he can bang with.
11-point margin. The Heat got it down to 8. Here's Starks in the corner.
Oh, boy.
At the other end, Willie Anderson. No.
Inadvertent whistle.
So it'll be Miami ball. And John Crotty's going to come in the lineup for Miami in just a second. Next dead ball. New York ball, not Miami ball. 66-52.
This is interesting. I like this move by Pat Riley, putting a smaller guy on Allen Houston because he has the quickness. Now, you know Allen Houston can always break and shoot above him, but he can't get around with quickness.
Hardaway, look at the concentration. Ewing. Back to a 16-point margin. That equals the biggest of the game. They started the 3rd quarter with a 16-point lead. They withstood the offensive efforts of the Miami Heat, and Charles Oakley's dive for a loose ball seems to summarize those independents as we get underway with the 4th. Here's Mashburn for 3, no. Oakley with a rebound. 9 rebounds from Oakley. Almost equals the number of times he was on the floor in the 3rd quarter. Houston guarded by Marley. Crotty comes to help. Houston into the hands of Alonzo Mourning. Crotty, Mashburn, Willie Anderson. Oh, beauty! What a nice pass from John Crotty.
A nice pass and pushing it up. That's what they have to do if they want to score points. Slowing it down is not the answer for the Miami Heat. John Crotty, Tim Hardaway, Mashburn, they have to push it up and create offense, and that's a great example. But again, someone on the Knicks was there, following them, making them go to the free throw line. It's unbelievable. And the Knicks know it, so they're fouling. Mashburn has a dunk. Charlie Ward fouls. He's already a +1 by that miss.
Well, they came in hitting 68% from the free throw line as a team. Tonight they're 13 of 27.
Yeah, they're at the point now, if they make one for two, the bench collapse.
15-point margin. Ward, nice spin move. Had to adjust this morning, got there to help. Starks. Marley chases down the loose ball. Gets it to Crotty. Back to Master and Anderson waits at the right side. Allen Houston got him a passing lane. Here come the Knicks. Buck Williams. Warning will rest for a moment. And Buck Williams at 37 years of age will run from the jumper.
Yeah, he can make that. That's a lot better for him. Somebody's in front of him, he can make those shots. It's the free throw line that bothers Buck.
17-point lead, largest lead of the night. Marley?
And I really believe Dan Marley is playing on guts right now. And that's the type of guy he is. I guarantee you it was something wrong back or something, and he told Pat Riley to let me try it. And Riley's allowing him, and he's paying dividends for him because he has a big heart.
Dan Marley missed half the season after back surgery in January. Got back for the last 10 regular season games and has played in each of the playoff games thus far, the 5 against Orlando and now the 4 against New York.
Yeah, because I just can't believe that's the coach's decision. I know that's what they told us. I can't buy that.
Marley reverses the trend and gets 2 free throws. Hardaway on the bench. 15-point margin, 10:25 to go in the ballgame. Game 5 from Miami on Wednesday night. Ward with the entry pass. Nice defensive jump on that one.
The Knicks are giving him so many opportunities to get back in this basketball game.
Loose ball underneath Crotty, kicks it back outside. But there was Charlie Ward, and the foul was called on Willie Anderson.
Probably a smart foul because the Knicks had nothing.
Johnny Ward, particularly, I thought, down in Miami, had a couple of terrific runs. Game 1, look at that.
And earlier tonight, in the second quarter, when Charlie Ward came in, is when they make a run. He does a good job of finding the score.
Allen Houston is among them. Hello. Oh, wow.
You like that, though.
Yeah.
He likes seeing anybody going trying to dunk on the lousy board.
Here's Morning. Foul on Buck Williams. 9:38 remaining in regulation play. And the Knicks trying to go up 3-1 and enjoy a 15-point lead.
Had to go in the paint because that's where they have the advantage. It's really an interesting game. The Heat wanted to run. They have. The Knicks have burned them in that. The Knicks wanted to post up, but they haven't. They've been going from the outside. So it's a completely opposite game that both coaches want it, and the Knicks are still winning.
Tim Hardaway with 12 points tonight, well below his series average at 34 in the 1 Miami victory. I think he's short to beat.
Well, I think of all the guys with back-to-back, I thought he would be the guy affected the most because he had to do so much yesterday.
Willie Anderson, oh, nice play.
Willie Anderson played basketball. He was sensational, had a lot of injuries over his last 3 or 4 years, and this is the first year he's been healthy the entire year in about 4 years.
Starks.
We should welcome John Starks to the playoffs because he's here now.
Yeah.
It's the second series.
8 of 11 tonight for John Starks. 5 of 24 in the first 3 games. Alonzo Mourning. Crotty for 3. Yes.
Really surprised that the Knicks decided to double team. I think you double team when it's a tie score. When you're up 15, you make Alonzo beat you over Patrick Ewing.
It was a 16-point margin at the half. Miami got to within 8. And New York came back to lead by 16 at the end of 3. Here's Starks looking for Ewing. Mourning looking at Ewing. Ewing going over Mourning. Two Ball New York. Childs.
Now the Knicks have 2 point guards in.
Here's Marley. Ward, Childs, and Starks join Buck Williams and Patrick Ewing. Offensive foul on Willie Anderson.
Oh, wow.
My.
That's right. Saw something I didn't see there.
Guess Willie hasn't played for a while.
Yes.
No respect.
Oh, what he's calling him, they do call this, if you try to knock the guy's arm off, you can watch Willie's arm right here, trying to knock it off, and that's what the offensive foul was called on. But the fact that John Stark had his arm on him is a foul also. So that's a tough call for Willie.
Now, do you think that Riley just accepted Bob Delaney's explanation?
No.
Another one. 20 points for Starks. Lead 14. Roddy to Boyd. Foul is called.
And they're not going to give him allowance or anything. They're going to make him earn every shot. If he has a sure shot, they're fouling him, and they're saying, you make the free throws.
Foul is on Ewing.
Now look at the lineup Miami has right now. They have 2 point guards, Crowdy and Hardaway, and 2 guards, Willie Anderson, and 2 guard on 3, Dan Marley in the center. They're going real small.
Well, 2 things to symbolize this series, I would say. Charles Oakley diving for a loose ball for New York, and Alonzo Mourning with an air ball from the free throw line for Miami.
You talk about the mountain. I mean, Alonzo Mourning can shoot. It's completely mental. Nice comeback.
Yes.
I was on the free throw line in the series. I remember I shot back-to-back air ball. So he's supposed to win for me. I'll tell you that.
Crowdy and Childs get into each other. Double technical foul called on Childs and Crowdy.
Little guys are getting into it. Big guys are getting into it. And this is when it happens. In about the game, the 4th game, it's just like when you practice in training camp and you get tired of practicing against each other. These 2 teams are now tired of playing against each other. So now they're getting irritated by each other.
Yeah, that happened right in front of us. I must say, I think Crowdy was the instigator.
Yes. Play the game. Pick the point.
Maloney with a wonderful game yesterday, 26 points. Here's Ewing. A couple more.
Yeah, every point is difficult for the Heat now because scoring 15 points more in the rest of this game will be tough.
Here's Hardaway for 3. Rebound Chris Childs, foul on Crowdy. And let's check in with Brian Burwell.
Well, Vernon, in the Knicks huddle, Jeff Van Gundy was saying that let's go down low against Alonzo Mourning. He has 4 fouls on him. They want to get him out of the game. So look for Patrick Ewing to see a lot of touches. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian. See those 13 points? He has not attempted a shot in the last 12 minutes. Here's Starks, Childs, Allen Houston, and Ewing.
Alonzo's going to get a foul here if he doesn't watch that.
Riley is saying, get back.
Yes, he wants him to get back. County Crowdy comes in to help.
Crowdy gets the steal. 6:35 to go. Game 4. Ezra pass to Alonzo Mourning. There's his first shot. 12 minutes.
When Tim Hardaway is tired and Alonzo Mourning's not taking shots, it's tough for your team to win.
Houston, travel.
Tell you what, Willie Anderson was giving Allen Houston fits. The one thing they found out in this game is that they have found someone who can guard Allen Houston. He's long, he's tall, and he's quick, and he's exactly the body build of an Allen Houston.
6:15 to go in regulation. Now Tim Hardaway showing a little bit of fatigue tonight. Look how much he's had to carry the offensive load in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's really 50% more of carrying the offensive load. I think that's really tough for the Heat.
Miami finds themselves down by 15 with 6:15 remaining. Game 5 coming up Wednesday night. Charles Oakley, who exemplified hustle, effort, work, particularly in the third quarter, getting a rest now. 15-point margin, Hardaway and Childs. Alonzo Mourning, moving screen, and Gimpy Meade. How many times have we seen this one?
Yeah, he gets away with it because they called it on Chris Childs.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. But then he gets the knee, so he doesn't get the foul, but he gets the knee in the kneecap. I don't know which is worse, because that hurts.
5 fouls on Chris Childs.
Well, the one thing that doesn't matter is fouls on point guards with the Knicks, because they have ample point guards. You got Scotty Brooks sitting on the bench with Charlie Ward, and John Starks can also play point guard. They have a ton of point guards.
Mourning still limping as he comes back down court.
You know, the Knicks still have not put the heat away, and I think they had their opportunity.
Johnson, guarded by Marley. Back to Childs for 3. Willie Anderson with a rebound. 5:40 to go in regulation. Here's Mourning. Can't get the roll.
Well, I tell you, they've had so many opportunities to get back in this basketball game.
Alonzo Mourning, 5 of 16 shooting tonight. Now he gets called for the foul. That's his 5th.
And they're going to go right at him. They're going to go at him all game. He's an aggressive player. He plays, he's physical, and so is Patrick Ewing. And they're going to give him a foul. That's his 5th.
Pat Riley keeps Mourning on the floor. Now Jamal Mashburn getting ready to come back in. Johnson pushing right. Back to 15. Larry Johnson has 14 points. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Mourning will step back.
There it is in the open. The referee knew that they didn't break the last time, and he does it again. He follows up with the exact same pick, and you knew they were going to call it. In most cases, a ref would never foul a superstar with a pick, but he got away with it the play before. You have to call it this time, and he does it. Late.
Somebody named Spike Lee leads the band. In the NBA, they were 32-9 in the regular season. They're on the verge of going for the donut on the road in the playoffs.
That's a great example. Regular season, playoffs, 2 different styles of basketball.
Double team Willie Anderson comes from Johnson. Houston tips it away and out of bounds. It's turnover New York.
He was passing and catching at the same time. He saw John Starks wide open. He was trying to get him the ball.
Alonzo Mourning with the moving screen, 6th foul, 13 points on 5 of 16 from the field and 3 of 8 from the free throw line.
And look at the lineup that he has here right now. You think they're going to be driving and kicking? They have 5 guys.
5 guards. 5 guards. He's going to let his starting national drive, right?
Yes. The question is how they're going to get a rebound. All Patrick has to do is hold his arms up.
Houston. Foul on Hardaway on Mourning as Houston is taken down.
The fans are up because they don't like it.
Hardaway, his 2nd.
And that would hurt because it's not always how hard you fall, it's how awkward you fall. And that was an awkward fall right there.
And now they've changed it and given it to Mashburn.
Such a contrast when the Knicks get up to the foul line. You know, they just get up there and take the ball.
Knock him home. 4 minutes to go. Here's Hardaway. Ewing. Jump ball. And Hardaway, frustration. Came up right in Ewing's chin.
And you know, Patrick Ewing is steaming right now. He's not showing it because it was an accident. You can see right here, he just get tangled up right here. But watch at the end of this. Oh my.
At the other end, Starks. Fouled by Willie Anderson. Now watch the end of that last play where Ewing got it right in the jaw.
Oh
boy.
And you know that burns me. That burns me. You get hit in the face at any time. Tim Hardaway, we must say, said he was sorry right away. Knew it was a mistake.
John Starks at the free throw line.
And I think Pat Riley has thrown in the towel, taking Tim Hardaway out.
Starks with 21 points.
First time he smiled this year.
One more. Ultimately. After all.
So it's too much time.
Crotty, Ike Austin, Jamal Mashburn, Willie Anderson, and Marley on the floor for Miami. Anderson for three. That'll be Miami ball. New York on the verge of going up 3 games to 1, game 5 in Miami on Wednesday. Here's Marley from the corner for three.
Got to question him not being in the game. Didn't see him that way. And John Crowder and Chris Childs are still just going at it.
That one's called on Crotty. That's his third. Game 5 coming up Wednesday night at Miami on TNT. Game 6 if necessary back here on Friday. And then Game 7 at Miami on NBC. That game if necessary. The time will be announced a little later on. Here's Giles at the free throw line.
I think it should be noted, Tom, that there's 3 games left, possibly 1. 2 of them can be at Miami.
Right.
So though they're down 3-1, they have to go to Miami, win in Miami, and then come here and win, and then they have Game 7 in Miami. So out of the 3 games left, 2 of them are in Miami. They still, though they've lost 1 at home, they still have somewhat of an advantage.
Having said all that, though, he did think tonight was a critical game.
I thought it was a swing game for both teams. 3-1 is tough anyway. To win 3 games anywhere is tough. And now Miami has to do it against a veteran basketball team.
Allen Houston looks for Ewing. Ike Austin with the defensive work near the 3-minute mark. 16-point margin. Back to Childs. Starts. Kicks it on the left side. Back is good. 84-66. Anderson. And here's Allen Houston for New York. Starts. Pick and roll with Larry Johnson. 2:25 to go in regulation. Here's Chris Childs. This is officially over. The press is halfway as well.
He's going to rest for him rest.
20 points. Here's Crotty for 3. Walter McCarty getting ready to come on for Jeff Van Gundy.
And that's their second version. He also has played a national anthem.
1:54 to go. Scotty Brooks is coming on. First time in the playoffs. John Wallace is coming on. First time in this series. At the next 10 ball. Austin. Ewing swats at it. Chris Childs with the turnover. Larry Johnson is fouled and will go to the free throw line. Ewing is out. Johnson is out after the free throws. Or maybe he'll stay on. Ewing with 20 points, 9 rebounds tonight.
I don't think the guys in the Knicks know who they were going in for. McCarty was so happy to go in. They asked him for who. He said, I don't know. I'm on the court though, I know that.
Johnson misses the first of 2. Lakers and Jazz game 5 from the Delta Center in Salt Lake as soon as we're through this one. One of 2 for Larry Johnson. Well, Miami with a playoff low of 73 points yesterday. They need to hustle if they're going to break their own mark.
And everyone's talked about the Miami Heat's defense. I think we should start making more or paying more attention to New York because they've done a nice job defending Miami.
Ashburn gets him to 71.
I thought they effectively took Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning out of the game today, and they chose who they wanted to beat them against you. And the other guys couldn't do it for Miami.
Scotty Brooks in his 9th year in the league, probably his last. Underneath, Walter McCarty.
Wow. Isn't that nice to have him as a 12th man?
89-71, final 45. Crotty finds Marley, who finds Roy Anderson, and then Marley again for 3. Well, that makes the point total 74. Not in the books. John Wall, out of bounds, Miami ball. Pat Riley paying such great respect to Ewing, Starks, and Oakley, the core of the team when he was the coach here. Look how they have responded tonight. Now, those 6 points and 9 rebounds don't begin to tell the story of Charles Oakley's contribution.
No, because though Starks and Ewing have more points and had a flashier game, the player of the game tonight was Charles Oakley. The play of the game was that guy on the floor.
This one's over. The New York Knicks go up 3 games to 1. Pat Riley's back-to-back games.